Hello, everybody. It's 5 p.m. in San Francisco. It's around 1 a.m., I think, in Barcelona. But today it doesn't really matter because we're doing this a bit later than what we usually do because we're connecting with other people on the other side of the world. So what matters now is I think it's 8 a.m. somewhere in Thailand, around noon in Sydney. So thanks for joining Hack Together Season 2, Episode 2. It took a while to be back, but we were on holidays last week in the US. So I hope if you're in the US, I hope you had some good times. But today we're back for another Hack Together, and we're gonna hack some good stuff. I'm Nico. I'm your host. I'm a developer advocate at Typeform, and I'm very excited to bring Shams over here from Rowey. Hello, Shams. How are you?
Hello. Hi, everyone.
So you're the one joining us from Thailand, is that right?
Yep. So temporarily on holiday.
Exactly. So thanks for being that early for us and joining it that early. But I'm sure it's a good way to wake up. It's a good exercise when you're waking up. Try to hack some stuff.
Exactly.
Um, so what do we have today? So tell us a bit more about who you are, what you do, what is Rowey. I
Sure.
just discovered about it like a couple of weeks ago on Product Hunt.
Yeah. So we just launched recently. We launched in October, and basically, Rowey grew out of our frustration for building the backends of our products. So we build like products for ourselves and like for our companies, and then it just seems that like the front end world is improving significantly with React and other frameworks, but the backend was still lacking behind, and everything takes so much effort to get going. And we wanted to build something that's completely flexible and extendable and helps you like visually develop things and without having to wait for things to deploy and everything um, and we want to just work on like simplifying and improving that experience of developing backends.
Yeah, and this is very close to the no code world as well. Like it doesn't have to be any engineers or developers that deal with Rowey, right?
Exactly. A lot of our users are people who are coming from no code and they just like want to extend that ability to like build more sophisticated products. So like with no code, it's very cool to get you started and like be able to build it, push things out, and then at one point you'll be like, but I need more flexibility, and that's where like Rowey comes in, where like you can write your full code as much as you need, and then go back to our like templates when that like you can start with our templates and then go from there with
That's
no
pretty
yeah.
cool. One thing also that could be very appealing for some folks that out there is that it runs on your own cloud, on your own instances. So everything that's around data privacy, data moving into different services. Now that it's on my own cloud, I shouldn't be really worried about that.
Exactly. So Rowey is completely open source, and the way we've developed it is that we host Rowey on your own GCP cloud, and that way, so we focus mainly on the development experience and not like the resource aspect of it. So and we can easily scale how like with all the great platform that GCP has developed in terms of all the developer features, we want to just extend that and make that easier to access and simpler to use.
Yeah, so this is the right foundation, having a backend like this to run something that will be in the theme about the end of the year, right? It's only the 2nd of December, but I'm pretty sure if you went shopping recently, if you went to the stores recently, you already heard this Mariah Carey song. And I'm not gonna sing it for you, but you know it's the holidays, you know it's coming, and you should be ready because one we were almost there. And then one thing that people do during the holidays, or try to do, at least personally, this is what I try to do, but I never achieved to do it, is to send holiday cards to thank the family, to thank partners, clients, cool people I met during the year, and send them some greetings for next year and get them excited or like send them good wishes. And so we thought that we can build something to automate this, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm bad at handwriting. This is why I'm looking for automation. I'll tell
Me
you.
too. Me too. My handwriting is like hasn't improved since I was 5.
Yeah, the only thing I write is It's probably the check for the rent every month, but that's it. Other than that, I don't write anything.
Yeah.
Uh, so I think our plan is to use a combination of different tools where we're gonna use Typeform as the entry point, where you're gonna tell us who you want to send the card to, what's their name, what's their email address, and then you're gonna write a custom message to them. So this is where you can be very creative and be inspired. And then we're gonna send that to Rowey, where you're gonna have an overview of all the different cards you have written, and we're gonna try to make that beautiful, right?
Yeah. So we have basically we have the all the data that comes into from Typeform gets stored into Rowey, and then we use Bannerbear to generate the personalized card, and then we use SendGrid to send our beautiful email.
Awesome. Yeah. So at the end, whenever you submit the form, you should have a beautiful card personalized with all the messages and all the good stuff you have written, and that will be sent by email to this person. So hopefully that creates a meaningful, fun, different experience.
Yeah.
All right. Should we get started?
Sure. Yeah. Let me.
And if you're in the comments, let us know if you have any ideas on what we should do, how we should customize this. All this type. I see Christopher is joining us from Sydney, so good to see you, Christopher. All right, so
I'm
gonna share your screen.
Yeah. So let's switch to. Is it here?
Yep.
So we have our template set up already. We'll just go quickly through some steps. So basically, we have the cards that we pre-made here, the options, and then we collect your name and email so that we can tell who we're sending from, and then we collect the share the person's name and their email so that we can send it to, of course. Yeah.
So yeah, you're taking advantage of different things on the Typeform side. You're taking advantage of the picture choice. So visually, people can pick which type of design they want for their cards. And I see that you have plenty of different animals and characters. This is very funny. And then you use another thing. You use the recall thing where you're gonna ask for someone's name and then ask for their email. So that makes this whole experience a lot easier.
Oh yeah. This one here, right? Yeah. So that one, just makes it a little bit more personal. And it's a very cool feature. Platform.
Awesome.
And then we have I think we need to publish.
Yep.
So one thing for Rowey is that you need to update the blocks. So we already have it. I've already updated it here, but so for us to detect the values that you're entering, usually Typeform generates it as an ID, but we need it into this so that we can parse it and more readable on Rowey. So
yeah, because we're going to write a small piece of code, and if we tell you to go find a question that has ID, this super long string, it doesn't make it very readable. So this is a good tip in general for anybody that wants to hack some stuff with Typeform. You have the possibility to change what we call the reference of a question, and like this, it's a bit more readable in your code. It's not an ID. The ID is still a very long string of character that we keep random, but the reference it's to help you like this. And if you look for it, it's under the gears for developer block references. Yeah. All right, so you've done this. You gave them readable names already. So you've done some stuff, and the Typeform side is up and running.
Typeform is ready to go. Right? I think it's pretty straightforward. And then so we'll start a new table. So before we do that, so I've already set up there's an index of the cards that we want to use, and these are because on Typeform we don't have, when you select a card, it only stores the value, and then we still need the image. So the image here is only for decoration purposes on Typeform, but the way we do it is we have the same names. And we store the index we maintain an index of all our cards here so that we can use them on Rowey as well.
And so just to show that, because this is the first time people might see the interface of Rowey. So it looks like a regular spreadsheet table type of as a way to organize data, right?
Yeah, so exactly. So with Rowey, you have it's a database. At the back end, it's a Firestore database. So that one, like, it's a very scalable, and you can go to like global scale. And on top, what we do on top of it is we just provide the UI element, because it makes it a lot easier to access. So if we didn't have Rowey, we'd have to go through these and try to like figure out what we're trying to do. But with Rowey, it looks like this. So that's the key difference to start with. Okay,
and then so you can organize your thing with different tables, different type of columns, and have the two tables talking to each other. This is where you have a table specifically for the cards, right?
Yeah, so we have the tables for a card because we're going to have a lot of people coming in and entering their data, and then we only need to keep 4 cards. We don't need to keep all the cards, so it's simpler that way. And then let's make a new table, and we'll call it greeting cards. And then we'll add a new collection, and we'll call it greeting cards here as well. And then basically, so we're just creating the table, and then like we need to select a section, so we can create sections so that once your project gets bigger, you have like a lot more structured in terms of where your data is coming. And here it's like we can add different roles. So if we have like more users, like so this is like we're able to manage the data more, like give access to the right people. And basically this helps you generate your rules, and you can just copy them and set them to your Firestore, so that you have that fine control over your data and not just give everyone everything.
And right now you might be just by now. I think the two of us are on this project, but eventually as the team grows, as more people need to contribute to it, it's good to put some rules.
Yeah, exactly. You can't have everyone adding all cards, so you have to have some checks and balances, right? And then we have like auditing, so we can audit who made changes, and like we can like customize. So like with the flexibility of Rowey, we have a default, but you can always override it, and that way it's your database and it's your rules basically, and that's it. So we create, and then it gives us 2 options. Either we're like import a CSV. So if I already have some CSV of people that I want to send to, I can just import it. Because I'm trying to set it up with Typeform, I'll just create a new table. And then basically here we want to do the same what we did on Typeform. So the reference blocks that we used in Typeform, we want to
if we were sending if you were like making one fake request on Typeform and then get the CSV from Typeform, would that help?
So
I don't think that's something which it's just an idea I just had.
That would help. Like set up the basic field. But
I will. I could do that right now.
Let me
we'll switch screen.
Oh no, because I've already started on this. Will be one. No, oops.
Too late.
Right. Next time, that's a first tip for you. And we'll do that. Hopefully no typos, and then.
So for each column, you can specify the type, and I guess right now we just have names and email, so they're all short text.
Yeah. So email is email. So you can hear if you made a mistake, you can just change the type here, and then update it. That's it. And then CPN. Now that's it. Email, and basically we're just like as you structure your data, you just set up your like columns so that you know like how to how your data is going to look like. And then what do we need? Message. We need message. The message is a short text a long text, and then we need selected card. So selected card is going to be the card that we select, the first choice that we selected, and then we need the
Then you had card image. I think there was
yeah yeah yeah
the generated image, right?
yeah. So the message card image, and then we can do that's the image. Where is that? So that's the image file. So we have like all these different types of file types, so that it just trying to cover for cover. That's like the face of the card, right?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we want to mimic a postcard, so you have two sides of
Yeah.
the card.
Yeah. Yeah. We want to have something cute to look at, and yeah, and set up something that's
So right now, so now you have the structure of your base. You, if you want, you can really already start putting data manually. But
no. So we're gonna use we're gonna use webhooks. So that's what that's like how we were able to automate our processes. Is we don't that's the whole point of this show, is to hack together and then automate things so that we don't have to do things manually, right?
exactly.
So let's add a webhook. And that's very simple here. So we'll just go to Rowey first, and then we just add a webhook here, and then we click add webhook, and then we currently have, so we just released this recently this week, and we have a basic webhook that allows you to like import like from any webhook provider, and then like parse it yourself. And then we have Typeform and SendGrid. So Typeform webhooks, like they have the benefit of having a Typeform the like a custom webhook, is that you're able to have a specific method for like verification, where like each service provides a different verification method. So we provide this, like each different extension has a different verification method, and you don't have to manually figure out how to verify that this webhook call is coming from Typeform, or if it's
Yeah,
someone trying to spam your system,
exactly. So
something
that's for
like that.
security purposes. Um,
Yeah,
and so webhook, for people that are not familiar with webhook, is whenever a response is going to be submitted on your type form, we're going to ping that URL, and you see Rowey has generated a URL for you, and that's hosted on your Google Cloud instance, right?
yeah, correct. So
It
yeah,
it has all the different parameters to know that it's related to that table on its own.
yeah.
And so every
So
time there is a new response, we send a JSON payload to it, and then it's on you to do something with it.
yeah, exactly. So then it's about what we do with that data, right? So we have, so let's set up let's turn it on, and let's let's set up a secret. Do we want to show the secret, or do we want to hide the secret?
Let's hide it. Give me a second. Yes. And so here, as Shams said in the introduction regarding secrets, it's a way for you to be guaranteed that this webhook payload comes from Typeform, and then there's no one in the middle trying to hack your service, and you only deal with valid requests coming from Typeform. And so this is important for webhook. Yep.
Okay. So we have it.
You have it.
And then
So this is different. We're probably going to talk about conditions later, but this is different than other systems. So if I've seen in other systems, like we just send you. I mean, on our case, we just send you regardless of what are the answers, what are the response, what people have said on the form. But here you have an option to filter and do that differently, right?
exactly. So after verifying what we want to, like, that this is coming from Typeform, we can optionally add, say, like, oh, I only want to send these when it's like in December. So I can add like a condition that say like only send this when the day is December, or like only send this when the email is not a Gmail, or anything that you can think of that you need for your own business, like your own use case. And like that's the benefit of having to be able to code it rather than have like a GUI that like you have to like struggle to fit in that very specific rare edge case that like that no code system was built for. So that's the main benefit of Rowey in that aspect. So we'll leave that for, we'll accept all webhooks for now. And so what you see here is that we have the parser function. So the parser is what takes in the payload and then tries to make sense of it. And that's like this what you have here is this is specific to the Typeform extension. So we have a standard Typeform parser, and we're able to say like we give you something that makes sense. So like the way Typeform sends the request, this parser basically goes through and pulls out all the answers based on the reference blocks that we set up. So and then that stores it to your document. To
So
your data.
that looks scary, but you've done all the hard work for me. Like
Exactly.
eventually, I don't have to touch anything on that
Yeah.
parser.
So you saw I didn't have to write that because just like I think like similar with the verification, it's like it's very difficult to get started, but you have it like we not every like you don't have to do it every time. Like we've already set it up for you, and if you want to do something different and something, then you can. But if you're like happy with the standard method of receiving a call and then making that into a document, then that's as easy as no code for you, because we didn't actually write any code, we just looked at code, right?
Yes, so far we haven't written any line.
We haven't written any code, but there's a lot of code, so it's space for you to write your code, but we try to reduce how much code you have to write to get things working.
So you
Okay.
turn on the webhook on both sides. You turn it on Typeform side, and you turn it on Rowey side, right?
Yeah. Yeah, let's oops. So that's the
That
webhook.
so then should we start a first thing and see if it arrives in the right place?
Yeah. Um, let's just see why. Yes. Okay. Now it's published. All right. That was
All
scary.
right. So let me do this. So and I'll share that with you all as well in the chat if you wanna comment, like go and fill up your details. Should we wait for later? We should wait for later.
Yeah. Let's do it
so
first.
you get a beautiful card and not just one test for now. So now I'll pick the pug. What is my name? Nico. And you'll get my Typeform email. You picked a really nice font. I'll send you one. And it's times at Roy.
Sure. Yeah. Sorry.
Fine for now. It's just a test, so it doesn't have to go to something real.
Yeah. So this will just hopefully populate the table.
Bim!
Nice.
I didn't even have the time to switch screens. It was already there.
Yes. So it is very fast. It is instant. So it basically it's like in the back it's using very scalable infrastructure. Like that's a lot of hard work put in by like Google engineers and making it very fast and scalable and scales to zero. A lot of features that are like very hard to replicate with like other solutions. So it's so that's it. So we have our
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 data coming in from
yeah,
Typeform.
our
Yes.
data coming in from Typeform. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is the let's expose. So let's expose the selected. So I forgot to add the selected um, card. I think we called it. So
Yes.
see, we are so basically we add the selected card, and it shows us the data that's already there. So we've selected the pug here, but it's not showing up. So now what we need to do is like we need to do the thing where we showed earlier, the cards table that we have pre-made, and we want to get the pug image. And to do that, we'll start
I think
writing
it's on
some.
the it's on the greetings.
The greetings one. That's the
Yeah.
testing. Yeah. So to do that, we go to webhooks, and then now we start modifying our parser.
All right, buckle up. This is where it gets scary but fun.
Not scary. It's all good. Okay. So currently what this does, let's just go through it quickly. It takes the response of the form and then takes out the answers and then like reduces, goes through the different values and try to extract it takes a big thing and reduces it into a small thing. And the small thing is the actual answers that we care about. So that's what reduce does. And what we want to, and then it just goes through these are a switch statement because each type has a different format of the way you want it. So like if we have a date submission, we want to convert it to a date rather than store as a string, right? So that helps us. So and basically like the choice is a different format. So that's why this is a switch statement. So that's the scary big looking thing. But for now, instead of returning it, which means it will create a new document for it, we want to get the actual value so that we can play around with it, then return it later. So we have this here. So we'll just return it, return, and then we'll like spread it.
And you didn't tell us, but this is JavaScript, right?
Yeah. So this is Node.js, and you're able to do a lot of the things that you do with JavaScript right in here. Yeah. So what do we have? We want to get the selected image so that we can look up our selected card. So we can look up what's the card that we want store. So we'll do submission, and then we'll do selected card. So it auto completes it for us, so that we don't have as many typos. And then the way we do this is we need to do a query now. So query, so that you can look up on your database, and then we do. It's an asynchronous, so we have to await. So this is syntax that we can await for the response to come in. And then DB is the database. And then you have all the things that are already here that you can use to like suggest what you need to do. So I'm trying to reference the collection, and the collection is cards. So we're going to look up cards. And then we want to do a where query so that we're finding where exactly like which document we want. And then the way we do that is we have the name field, and then we have like an operator. So every step of the way you have the suggestion of what you need to do so that you don't get lost on what am I supposed to do here.
And this is not Rowey syntax. This is actually Firestore.
This is Firestore syntax. Yeah. So everything here is like all the database is all Firestore, and basically it's a lot of developers already are used to it, and it helps trying to like learn a new product and not having to learn everything from scratch.
And there's already plenty of documentation of like how to make a search, how to combine stuff in different documents, things like that.
And it's a proven well tested solution. So you don't have to trust us on that. Yeah. So we have our query, and then what we want to do is we want to get the first document. So we'll do the card document, and then we'll do query, and then docs, and then we'll get the first one. Hopefully we have a first one, but that's basically for now we assume because we set up the the type form correctly and we set up everything, so we'll assume that the query returns a value. And let's see.
And if there was more than one matching document, it will
So
return
we'll just
more.
get the
But
first one. So that's why we add the 0. So the 0 is there because 0 is the first one, and to like, if there are more than one, we only want to send one card. So if you end up adding multiple the same, we'll just get the first one. And then here we do the cover image.
And so now we're gonna find the value for the column, right? That we're gonna push to this new row.
What did I call it? Did I call it that? And then we just do the card, and then we just get, and we have the name. So it's not.
So you have card cover image.
Let's just open that and another one, and then that's how we just look at it and then like, what did we? This is what we call it, right? And then we click on it, and then that copies it to our clipboard, and that just helps you a lot in reducing errors. And then I also wanted to check, what did I call the greeting cards? So I called it the card cover image. So did I get it right?
Yep,
got it right. And so hopefully that piece works. So basically we extracted the value from the submission, and then we used it to search our database for that card, and then we got the document, and then for the document we only actually want to get the cover image. We don't want to get the name, and if there's other fields, we don't want to get that too.
So we extract this column, and then we create basically the cover image on a new document, and we pass this, and now we should have it.
Yeah. So if we give it a second, if we try again now.
So yeah, you can send it again.
We can just, so with Typeform, I really like this feature. Having to like not redo the form every time, and just like trying to redeliver, and then you can see if there was an error or it was successful or fail. And then why is it?
Then we get the wheel of. It worked.
Did it work? Yeah.
Yeah, you get a second reindeer seat. Then it's probably on us like right now why we don't tell you this. That's scary. But yeah, you had 2 documents on your Rowey stuff, and now you have 3.
Yeah. Let me just. Where's it go? Okay, but it still didn't work. What did we do wrong?
This. Yes. You're right.
Card cover image. Where is
it the right name for the card? What is the name on the? What is the reference for this field?
So the reference is correct. We copied it, and then we have the submission, the selected card. I think that's correct.
Yeah,
and then
let's double check. Yeah.
We have. Okay, let's just try again. Let's just make sure that it's published, and then we'll try again. Hopefully that.
Deliveries.
Yay! So that was that. Um, that works. And then with Rowey, you can just change it so that whatever makes sense for this. So now we have the first part working, which is getting the this thing to work, where we have the
The
lookup of
image that was selected in the form instead of
yeah,
just like
yeah,
which image,
yeah. So
the
then in the
label.
yeah. So now what we want to do is we want to modify the webhook again to get to generate the Bannerbear custom image.
Yeah,
And
and so if people are not familiar with Bannerbear, it's a way for you to set up a template, right? Of an image and say like, here I'm gonna have a text that's gonna be my title, that's gonna be the name of the person, that's gonna be their right now there's only the message and the name of a person, and so
yeah,
you give this as a template, and then they provide you with an API that you can just
yeah,
call and be
I'll show you quickly
yeah,
what we have here.
exactly.
So we have a basic card, and then it's just the message, the recipient name, and then the sender name. So when we call their API, it should fill in everything, and then that will help. That will basically give us back the actual image rather than this template. Um,
Yeah, so
so
you can put a template on some. It's a good way to
yeah,
generate images. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, so now we need to do that part. The first thing we're gonna do is copy over the URL. So we look at the simple URL. So we use the simple URL method for now, but there's other ways that you can do it. And then we'll just use this as the base URL. And that basically tells Bannerbear what template we're looking for. And then the next part we want to do is like what fields that we want to inject it in. So we would say like the
Get the
template
message. Yeah.
is yeah. So let's just do it in a scalable way, and then so we have like we can add more as our template becomes more complex. So if we add like an image or uh, name and then message. So that way we don't it's because the way we need to do that is because there's the format of the the URL needs to is a bit like it needs to have the appended path. So
Mm.
it's like you have to do like the name and then the value that the attribute that you want to change, and then the the actual actual value that you want to set. So we'll use another reduce, and then same is that reduce. We want what we're doing here is we're converting a an array into a string. So like this is an array, and then we want to reduce it to a string, so to a single string. And then we have the cumulative value, and then we have the current value. So the current value is what like it's going to go through each item in the templates key, and then it's going to reduce it. And then we'll start with the base URL. So this is the starting point of this string. But if you were to start from scratch, you could do this. But because we want to append everything to the base URL, we do this part here. So we'll do we'll do base URL, and then and then we have to do this. It's a string, and then it's a template string. So the first thing we add is the accumulative. So the accumulative is like this. Originally it starts as that, but then as we go along, it will become more and more of like the added up to complete the this. So the first thing we want to do is we want to identify the attribute. So like that's how the URL is structured. Let me see if they have documentation. Yeah, so like it's like
Because
this.
this is very fancy.
So it's like this. So you will add the layer. So like the first layer is and then we have the attribute, and then the data that we want to set, and then it goes on and on. So for now, with the only attribute that we're changing, so first we set the current, so that's going to be the layer, and then because we have like on Bannerbear, we have already set up the layers so that we can even change the from and to, but for now we only want to change these available variables. And then we have the current, and then we'll do the attribute that we're changing. So we're going to change the text attribute, and then we'll do the submission, and then we'll do submission, and then the submission is the object that we got from Typeform, correct? So let me just make this big so that so this makes a full screen. So
feel free to zoom in just one bit. Click Command Plus, that will help as well.
Okay.
Just Command Plus. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. No, yeah, people should. So basically, we have the submission, and which is the object coming from Typeform, and then we want to do a get the actual value of it, and then like current is going to be like for each one is going to say like sender, and then get the sender value and put it here. And then what we want to do is the next part is now that we have the URL, we want to get the image file that we want. So we do like that we want to store on Rowey. So image file, and then to like, because we have a URL here, we want to change it into an image. So we have some utility functions for that. So we have Rowey, and like we can, if you want to get like a secret for something or other, like we have like, we're going to add more to this feature, and then it tells you here, it tells you what it wants. And then we can do like, the URL is going to be the URL here. So that's the URL. And then we want to set the storage path. So so you see here, and then like you can see where you like, if something is going wrong or everything is cool. So here we just want to set the storage path. And that could be anything.
So that is basically creating for you a bucket in your.
So this uses a like a pre-made bucket. This creates a folder. So this is like we could do whatever we want here to make the folder that all the images go into. So it's just a folder that we want to store our images for, so that when we go back in there and like when we go to Firebase and like look at our storage, we don't have a big mess, and we just have like structured
keep
data.
Things organized.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is like here, the Bannerbear API, you don't need any authentication to call that API. Right?
Yeah. So this one, hopefully this works. They have a more advanced API with authentication for like more scale, where you have to do a post request and then get the response, and then do another request to get the actual image, and that one is authenticated, and that's like for more. But here we just want to get hacking. That's the
but I have to say, like using reduce and making that scalable with all the different parameters on the template, that's already pretty advanced. So I'll say that's beautiful code.
Thanks. Yeah, look, we could have added everything in here. But yeah, we wanna things to look pretty, even if they're just good.
No, this is awesome. And so now this is added to the row, or not yet?
So we'll just wait for it to publish. I think it last time it had this. Where is it? It had this. So basically have everything. Oh no, good. We double check. So now that we have the image file, we need to actually return it in the same way, like so that it like what did we call the?
We called that.
I'll just click
message card.
Yeah.
Message card image.
Yeah, and then we'll just edit that, and then we have. message card, and then we'll do the image file. So we store it in arrays so that we can just have as like multiple images if we need, but if we don't, we just have the first, we just use the first image. But the square brackets here just to say that it's an image, it's a it's an array of one image. Um, and basically, oh yeah, we need to do await. So this await signal, because this is an asynchronous call, it will take the URL, wait for a bit, like download everything and store it to bucket before it can return a response. So we do have to await for the response. And then so you see here, if we do that, it shows that it's a promise in here, so that it wouldn't store the promise, it would break. But if we do that, it will remove the promise wrapping, and then now that like we can tell that it's gonna work.
This is mind blowing. No chance for it to fail. You have no excuse. You have to write the code and you have to make the
We
awaits when you. All the documentation is there in front of you. That's perfect.
Hopefully, yeah. Yeah, and like basically what we're gonna do is like improve that experience as much as possible. Like coding is hard, but we we don't want people to stop coding. We just want to make coding easier, um, and more advanced. Did that publish? I wasn't sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's moment of truth. Do you wanna send a new card?
I was. Yeah. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Where are we? Yes. So I wanted to pug. So I'm still Nico, and my email is still. I will show you. Oh, we want to see it live, arriving live, so you'll see it live.
Perfect.
Who do you want to spray? Don't type that fast. All right, it's set. So,
Okay. So
you should
I think
see.
it'll take a bit because it needs to download everything. But hopefully it looks like it's good. Um,
Beam.
yes. Okay, fantastic.
So, could you
Now,
open this image bigger?
yeah, so let's just lock this one so that we don't need to delete. And then we have our
Yes, open.
have nice.
Oh,
So
that's so cute.
thank you. Okay. All right. So
So,
we have that. That was smooth. So we
yeah.
have
So let's just
our
recap
card.
what we did. So we automating sending from a type form for you to send business cards, no, holiday cards, asking you who you are and who you want to send that to, and a message to this card. It gets sent to Rowey, that provides you with a beautiful UI where you can manage all the different cards. But we also want to generate the visual of it, and that's what you just did, is calling Bannerbear, which is in the middle, that takes care of
Yeah.
the generation of the image.
Yeah.
And now you added it as a colon to Rowey. So
Yeah. So we
that's
have
quite incredible. So you have dynamic data. So this is data that was not submitted in the form. It just assembling the data, submitting the form to generate something new in a new column.
exactly. And like you can extend this as much as you need, and with like the flexibility of the like JavaScript provides you with, you can do like you can call any API that you want, and get the data that you actually need. If it's not a card, if it's some other data, then you can easily do that just as well.
Yeah. So
so
if you mention something like for data enrichment, things like Clearbit and this type of things,
exactly.
so like you
Exactly.
receive an email and you want to know, oh, can I know more about this person, where they work, what type of stuff they have?
We
There are a few
actually have
APIs for
that.
that.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we have that set up, but we can't show. But yeah, so that kind of thing is very helpful. Trying to like automate your life and focusing on the things that are um, just a little bit easier. Okay, so now that we got this to work, the next part is we're gonna set up a SendGrid SendGrid extension. So an extension is so these are webhooks, and then these are extensions. And extensions allow you to do event-based tasks. So whenever we have some so we have few more of the extensions since it's been a while. So we have um, Twilio, so you can send a Twilio SMS, or you can send a SendGrid email, or you can send a Slack message, and all of these are trying to make it simple for you to integrate with those services. So just a quick recap, with SendGrid, you have your email templates, and here we have this project set up here with holiday cards, and then this is the template ID that we're going to use, and then this is the actual design that we've already pre-made, and then it basically has all of this template pre-set up, and all these are if you see here, templates. So when we actually call the SendGrid API, it will find and replace all of this that we've already met. And then if you see here, it's if we click preview, it should show us. So it will show us this is a test data. So if we show test data, we have I've set up here some test data, and then some test URLs, and then we have the email it's gonna look like this, but with our own custom fields. Okay. So that's the SendGrid.
Creating a template on SendGrid to make this generic, and so you have a beautiful email with the file.
Yeah, and then so now we'll make a new extension, and then we'll call it send card. You can call it whatever you want, and then we'll just so this is the trigger events, and then trigger events are currently create and update and delete. So whenever there's a new row is created, or a new row is updated or deleted, and an existing row is deleted, it will tell it that I want to run this function. So if someone deletes their user, then you can send a goodbye email, right? And then but for now, we wanted to, every time there's a greeting card created, so every time there's a webhook getting called from Typeform and that creates a new document, we want to trigger the send email extension. And then we have required fields. So sometimes you want to say oh, I only want to send this email if I have these specific parameters available. Otherwise, I don't want to send it, especially if it looks bad. And then we have same concept as the conditions in webhooks, is that there might be other logic that is more advanced than just say that it's a create event and it has a missing field. There's more advanced to it, something you can look up your database somewhere that you need some additional data to verify, or to say if this something you should send now or not, and also checking the document field. So if someone's not has signed unsubscribed from your emails, maybe you can check for that. But anything that you need, you can just code it. And we have access to the row. So the row object is the object that's being triggered. So each row will have a row object, and that has all the values that we added. And the change is the before and after of that extension. And then similar to the parser, we have a pre-made code. So you don't have to do as much coding as you need. So we have a pre-made code. You can add your functionality here, and then similar, you have different things here. So we have access to database, where we just do the same thing, where we can enrich the document data. Say, for example, we have this greeting cards being created, but the sender email or the recipient email is from another document. Or for example, how we had to update the cover card image. We don't actually have to do that on in the webhook side, we can actually do it here, where we just say, oh, for this email, I actually need the cover image, and I can get the cover image right here. Exactly the same code where we do like the DB, and then collection and like cards. So same thing. We can do that here to enrich that data before sending through an email.
And could you update the row? So like if I create this image here, can I update the row and add a new column and like the value to a column? Okay.
Yeah. So we have reference here, and then you can do reference to update, and then you can say like something like, "Oh, this is sent," and that will be true.
Nice.
So like we can do that. Hopefully, yeah, that one's okay. And then let's see. Let's make it. So the holiday cards, and then we have greetings. We can do like any email here, and then I've already bought a domain for this.
Oh, careful! It's addictive.
Yeah, it is. It's so much fun. Look, with all the new extensions, it's like I got
holiday.fun. Oh, nice.
Yeah, holiday card or holiday cards. Forgot. Maybe holiday cards. Hopefully. Let's see. And then here, same thing is that we want to send it. Who do we want to send it to? We have row, and then we have, once we do row, this is all the fields that we have access to. So we have row, the recipient name, and then row dot email. So send recipient email. And then here, make sure that we don't make a mistake. If we go back to SendGrid and we copy that example that we have over, and we paste it in. So this is the dynamic data that we want to modify. So instead of sending these default ones, what we want to do is use the row. So the row dot sender name. No, that's the selected card. Sender name, and then the recipient. So
the auto-completion is very magic. So we definitely
touching
between low code and no code. We're in low code. This is
yeah. Great. No, there's like you don't. So this is why this exists, because of how many times I made a mistake, typing the wrong thing and then waiting for it to build, and then basically like failing because I made a mistake that could have been easily avoided if I was more careful. But instead of being more careful, ended up making this.
This is very cool. Yeah, so here I have actually a question. So when you get the row, exactly what I was about to ask you is like, how is structure the image column structure in here? What do you have access to?
Yeah. So
you have access to the URL.
Yeah. So everything is, at least hopefully everything is like well typed, and you can have like this is if you do card or cover, and then you can see this is an array of different objects, and like we know that like it's not just URL because that's wrong. It will tell you it's wrong, but you should do download URL. And same thing with like the row, and then we can do card message card. Yeah, so we did rename them a bit, but same thing here. It's an array, and then we do download image. And then for the template ID, we want to go back here and then copy the template ID. And that's just to connect things up with telling SendGrid what template to send if we have a lot of them. And then we can just format our code so that it looks pretty.
You don't have this?
Yeah. So this is this is all open source. This is monocode. This is the same code editor you see in VS Code, and it has a lot of features. We didn't actually build this.
Cool, but at least you have it in the browser, which is cool.
Yeah. So it's we want the browser experience to be just as good, if not better. Like things like the auto completion, these are not possible in VS Code at the moment because VS Code doesn't know what your row looks like. But because we're here, we're in this table, we know what your row looks like. So that's it. Let's save and deploy, and then basically we have this build process that gets gets the required data, and then you can just look into this to see if everything's going well, if there's any issues.
Because
Just to,
it deploys the function somewhere and it builds the
so
function
yeah,
somewhere.
so currently what we do is we go to we 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 deploy to Google Cloud Functions, and basically it the way that's how we do um
Okay.
our um our cloud. So these events are basically triggered on like the document creation, which is a cloud function that listens to the the Firestore events. So there's a cloud function for each table that listens to Firestore events, and then whenever um, something changes, it will just trigger that. Yeah, let me see if I can. So this usually takes a bit of time. However, since this step is just waiting for time, what we have is we have something pre-made. So we have something pre-made here. Let me just, I'll just change it, and then we can just, yeah. Let me just
So
so instead of sending a form for now, we can just duplicate it. Um,
that will be
Actually,
creation as well. Yeah.
and yeah, that will be great, and that way you can test out like things easily without having to like go through the whole process again. And basically, by creating that, I should have received an email. Where is my emails? It's not equipped. Um, did I send it
Let
to
you dig through your email without revealing too many secrets.
so many secrets? Which screen is it showing now?
Showing the holiday cards stuff.
Okay, good. Let me try to find that email for you.
All right, let us know in the chat what you think so far. I think
I think this is
are
the end of
this is
we're on time.
yeah, no, that's incredible what you did in just less than an hour of connecting all the things together. So it makes the whole experience better, and you can send holiday cards at scale. Like really, now it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you have the email, I think I can share the link. Like once the extension is built, I can share the link so you can try this yourself.
Yeah.
Um,
Let me see if it's working.
and then for every so I'm gonna ask the question of I'm a type of developer that makes one line, and I'm not very sure about my code, so I like to put a lot of console log in all the different places and be like, ha, let's see how far it went, how far it goes.
Yeah.
You have access to all those logs as well, right? You can to debug those extensions of the webhook payload.
Yeah. So we just released this new feature, which is Cloud Logs, and then it has things from auditing. So this is like these are all my failed experimentations. This is the auditing feature, so that you can see who made changes and to what row. So this is like auditing, and then we have the builds, and then we have all these events. So let's get back to this one. Does that work? Let's see. No. Let's see. What do we have? So we can go to here, and then we say like, oh, I want the logs for Typeform, right? And like it will open it for you. that specific one.
Okay.
And then you can see like here is the body JSON, and here is like the body of the event, and here is the full log entry. And so that's what we have so far. And this is still very new, and we're adding like what you're saying with like the logs. But it is on Cloud Functions, so you can have
Yeah, worst case, you can go dig into Cloud Function and find it yourself.
yeah. So that's how it is at the moment in terms of, but we're soon making that like change so that everything is on Rowey, and we try to basically abstract everything on this. But at the end of the day, it's all here for you, and you can access and modify it. Like you have all the source code that's built by Rowey, and like all the logs are here. So if you add the console log in your if you add the console log in your extension or your webhook, it will all log into here, and you have like multiple ways of looking into it. So we have yeah.
And that's me not really knowing how Cloud Function works, but it will keep history, right? Every time I make a change, it will, like, if I want to roll back and come back to a previous version of it.
Yeah. So so you can modify it, and we do want to add like more. So currently, like on the Rowey side, it's not like it has a lot of space for growth. We did just launch in October, but yeah. So in the future, what we want to do is focus on that more advanced developer, like different environments and different ways of like different like staging environments and like versioning and like a concept of like pull request. But that's a lot of things that we're into.
It's already a lot that you have for something that just started. So were you able to receive the email?
Let's see this one. I think there's a, let's see the logs. Is it build? Okay.
Yeah.
This is the, did we make the greeting card one?
Yeah, the greeting cards is the new one. Is the one we just did. Yeah.
Just let me just have a look. I think there's a. Yeah. Why is it not sending?
I don't think we added anything to it. That's right. But on this one, I'm not sure. I can share the link, so if people want to send it their stuff.
Yeah, you can share the link. It will, at least it will populate. It's there's a lot of things that just break in real life.
Yeah, so here you have a QR code that you can scan, and that should get you to the form, and you should be able to send a postcard, like a virtual card, to someone that you like, and send them greetings and have a beautiful design. Let's see.
Okay, yeah, I got the email. Let me, I think there's something wrong. Do you see it now?
Yes, let me get rid of this thing here. Yes, we see the email.
We have the email, but for some reason it's not loading the
second image.
Yeah.
But at least you have the name of the person that sent it to you.
Yeah, so I did the. Let me just change it here.
Not on this one. That's the first. Yeah, that's your test.
That's the one I'm testing. So I'll just send it, and then we can just basically send it here. So if we just change it to Nicholas, and then duplicate it, that will trigger another email. hopefully. But yeah, emails are a bit moody.
And so right now the extensions are only happening when something happens on the road. You hope to have something where, I mean, as you said, it could be something if you do the filtering, like to mimic a button, right? So you get all the data that goes into Rowey, and then if you check a box, eventually this is like where it sends and triggers the email, right?
Yeah. So we have like if it's checking a box, what will happen is it will like the checking a box is just an update. An update kind of thing. So you do update, and then you can do conditional for changing the like
The status of the checkbox, right?
yeah, checking if the checkbox was on then off. So that one you could do. Things that could come in the future is more of like a on a schedule, so that like every day you want to check for something, and then you want to send out those emails or something else.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, really fun, really fun. So there's like this is just the beginning. There's so many other things that you can add, so many other workflows you can build. But you just launched this webhook function, and
so
it's really cool that you already.
We have
It's really cool. Tell me.
We have a message here from Christopher. So
where?
Here on we got the. Oh, do you not see my screen anymore?
No, I think you.
Oh no. Where'd it go?
Share it again.
Okay, let me share. Okay, found it. Share screen, window. That one. Yeah. So we have our entries coming in. So we have our test. Yeah. We have a test.
Thank you, Christopher, for testing this out with us.
We'll get your email out soon.
But that's really cool. So again, we did Typeform connected to Rowey, generating an image with Bannerbear, and sending an email with SendGrid. I think the next step is to actually send a physical card. This is also possible. There are a few APIs out there that let you do this.
And yeah, so we have we do have the SendGrid extension, but you can write your own extensions. You can just call an API with like an extension that has like an API call. So that way you can extend it to a physical card. And like
awesome. So possibilities are endless. You're just getting started. It's an open source project, so I guess you're welcoming contributors, people that want to contribute.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So it's on. Yeah. Let me share. It's on GitHub. Everything's on GitHub, and it's Rowey. What do we have here?
And you have a Discord community as well, right? So I had some questions about how to install it on my own instances, and you were there ready to help out and point me in the right direction.
I was like, Harini told me afterwards, and I'm like, oh, cool. So yeah, so this is our GitHub repo, and we have the deploy here, simple, and you can like manage it and run it locally and everything, just so that you have the ability to play around with it and explore. And we have a live demo with more things to show. So we have the like a movie list. Yeah. So like here we have like a movie list. Everyone loves Scarface, and then we have like this is the functional one where we add like the
name of the movie.
And then it will try to get the document ID. It search through the the
IMDb.
database, and then gets the ID, and then from the ID it gets the metadata of that document. So like I'll show you here quickly. Everything here you can open, and then you have like a scraper that scrapes the MetaDB website and then gets like the relevant information.
This is
And
cool.
yeah, and you could
We
do
did we did a hack like this for book recommendation, and I feel like that was the last step we were missing. We're like pick the cover from somewhere else, get the summary from another API,
yeah.
and so it makes a lot of sense. Wow,
So
that was fast. You get everything.
yeah, you get the URL and you get the data. So I pick this one, and then we have like the description, but we also have like a translation column here, cloud function, a similar cloud function that uses the Google Translate API to take the description text and then use to like get translated into French. And it's just like just very small, like a few lines of code. You have like translations implemented. So it's not that difficult.
Yeah, and I'm sure with all those snippets of code, you're gonna have somewhere with more templates that people can look at, contribute, get inspired by. It's just in the making. So awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shams, for showing us all this, building a cool hack. We're probably gonna follow up with more like a structured blog post tutorial. So if you want to watch this step by step, you don't have to watch a whole video, but we'll show you how to do it. Yeah, thanks again. If you want to stay updated, I think this is your Twitter handle, right?
Yeah, I think so.
This is where people can follow you. Go check Rowey.io, try to install it, try to hack some stuff. Let us know what you build with it. And hope to see you next time. Probably in a week or two, we're going to get more hacks together. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.